So in my last video that I uploaded, my introductory video, I kind of spoke about, my price action strategy is based around trend trading, right? So, I'd look for break and retest of significant levels. Within within a clear trend, a clearly identified trend. I enter on the retest of the level and initial targets here at previous levels, or sometimes at 1-to-1, but normally at target previous levels, and then second targets will kind of be the levels in the past. So that is a very basic explanation of what I look for. But sometimes I also look for some confluences, right? So I might add in a trend line. If there's a confluence of the zone meeting with the trend line, then that may add some additional confluence. Then I also probably look at like a Fibonacci maybe. So I'll pull a little fib. If it's anywhere, if this zone is anywhere within like the 50% level or the 618, I tend to add that as an additional piece of confluence to enter the position. Obviously, this is an example of a long trade. But it doesn't, like, I try not to get any more complicated than that. 1 or 2 trend lines for additional confluence, but it really just boils down to that zone, because I am a firm believer of if your zones are drawn correctly, then trend lines kind of line up with the zones anyway. So oftentimes the trend lines aren't really needed. I try to keep the charts as clean and as clear as possible. It just kind of helps me see things a little bit better. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to clear that up before I get into the crux of the the video for this week. So now that that's done, remove drawings. Okay, so what I'd usually do is every Sunday, well, every weekend. I can't say it happens every Sunday, but either Saturday or Sunday, I'll kind of come to my charts, clear my charts for the most part. And start afresh. So for every pair, I'd probably start on the daily time frame and work my way down to the 4-hour time frame. I don't really go lower than the 4-hour time frame for marking up my charts. And I just kind of identify if I believe there are any opportunities or any clear trends or any opportunities coming up in that may come up in the upcoming week. So I've got my pairs. I trade all the majors, across of all the majors. So I've got my GBPs, my euros, CADs, USDs, AUDs, and NZDs. I don't really trade metals, so I've got, but I like to track it because I'm interested in it. So I have, silver and gold listed here, and then I also just keep a track on Bitcoin and some gold stocks. So I just keep that all in this section down here, and I've got some indexes that I track, right? So the dollar index and the S&P index. I don't really trade those either, but I just kind of like to keep an eye on them. So what I'd do is I'd start, top down, start with the GBPs, work my way down till I get to the NZDs. And for each, I'll start on the daily and go down to the H4 afterwards. If there's any opportunities that I think are coming up sometime soon, then I would highlight the particular pair in yellow, just so that I know that I can keep an eye on it every time I come back to the chart. I know which ones are potentially looking to get into. If it's something that I've taken a position on, I tend to change it to green to show that I'm in the position. And if it's something that it might be coming up, but it might be a long ways off, then I'll probably change it to like a red. All right, so red for way in the future, yellow for you know, upcoming probably soon, and then green for, you know, in a trade. Yeah, otherwise it's just blank. Cool, so I'll try to keep these videos as short as possible. This one might be a little bit longer because of just that explanation at the start, but you know, I try to keep my analysis on each pair down to, you know, maybe a minute, so a couple of seconds, no more than a minute. All right. All right, so for me on the daily time frame, GBPAUD is kind of in a sideways movement here. You know, it had this strong downtrend, but since then it's kind of consolidating in the sideways movement. But you still have, in this current sideways movement here, we're currently in this minor downtrend, right? So you can say that that is your downtrend. I'm not connecting any particular trend lines. I'm just identifying that price is moving down, right? I'll jump to the forward time frame now. Okay, and well, here we can probably try to fine tune a little bit more, right? So we just look for the most recent highs, connect those two. I just look for the initial connect of the first two major points, right? So in this case, I'm calling that a major point and that a major point, just for the current sort of price action, right? Yes, we could kind of say that you have these two major points here, and you know, you want to kind of extend that, but this looks a little bit more relevant to me, so I just ignore these first 2 points. Not to get too confusing, but you know, you could kind of say, well, yeah, we have these 2 points here, that point there meeting with this point here, so you know, we kind of have this sort of area here. But for me, I wouldn't be trading anything like this, because what I would have been looking for on this pair would have been a break of this level here. All right, so we had that break. You saw price push down, it rejected, kind of bounced around, and it made this massive push through, and then it came back up, retested. So this would have been a potential entry for me. This would have been a potential entry for me. All right, but no additional trades here. What I'll be looking for on this pair, if anything, would be a clear breakthrough of this level, come back up to test it, and then possibly push lower. But to be honest, I might just ignore that because you had this massive rejection here to the downside. So you know, nothing setting up for me on this pair. Nothing clear that I'd be trading, so I'll just leave it alone. GBPCAD, we'll jump out to the daily. Just ignore all of that nonsense there. I was just testing some stuff. Again, for me, no clear movement. Yeah, you kind of had this uptrend recently, kind of in the past here. Again, don't pay attention to how I'm drawing the trend line. I just identifying that it was moving up, higher highs, higher lows. You had this massive breakthrough, and then it kind of pushed back up into the zone, came back down, tested it, and now it's pushing up. So if I was to be trading this pair, I'd look for a clear breakout of this level up at the top here. So something like this to break out, come back, test, and then, you know, possibly go long. If that happens, then let's have a look. So you have these levels in the past here. Yeah, so you know, we might probably say something like this. So you know, it might, you know, push through, come back, retest, and then, you know, if it has the momentum to kind of break through and go up, then you might see that. Could possibly even come back down here and then test these last major highs over here, right? So you can probably see something like that, but for now nothing's clear for me. If we do see that break above, then you know, it might be something I'll be interested in, so I'll probably just keep an eye on this one. So yeah, if we do see a clear breakthrough up here, come back down, retest, you know, somewhere around here. Let's see if we get a little confluence going. So connect these two. Kind of a steep uptrend. Don't really like the look of that. I prefer more, you know, like gradual, sort of like how this trend line is here. It's just gradual move up. So yeah, ignore this trend line for now. But you know, we could probably see if price was to fail, right? So if we don't see a breakthrough of this zone up here, what we could probably see is a push through lower, come back up, retest underneath here, and then complete that kind of move there, right? If that happens, if we see another breakthrough of this trend line here, again, there's no real zones, no clear zones that I like the look of, but you know, that might probably happen. And if we start to see some, you know, lower lows and lower highs forming, then you know, maybe we can get involved in something there. But for now, nothing really clear, but I'll keep an eye on it. GBPCHF daily. Again, we're kind of in this sideways. We have this sideways price action happening here. No clear trend. Everybody, you know, price is just kind of stuck in this kind of zone here, right? So yeah, for me, I need to see a clear breakthrough of either one of these major levels to then get involved in something. Yes, we might see price push up into this level again. If we see some rejection, it might push down. But again, that for me is not a trade I'll be taking, because I like to be in a predominant trend, right? So yes, we have this minor uptrend happening here within the consolidation. But you know, if I was to begin involved in this, you know, you see, you're not really seeing any clear levels being respected here, right? You kind of had this level here in the past, right? Because you know, price pushed down, it had this sudden stop, moved up, broke through, didn't really respect it, came back down, didn't respect it, and pushed through in the uptrend, came back down, tested it with rejection, which is what we like to see, small candles happening, then some rejection. So this would have probably been a decent trade, but you know, I wasn't really around for that trade. So yeah, nothing clear for me here on GBPCHF. So we go to GJ. Yeah, so you could, yeah, we're in an uptrend. You know, price is moving up, higher highs, higher lows. You kind of had this rejection in the past of this level up here, kind of this level. I expanded all the way back. So kind of, you know, price pushed up, had that rejection, came back down, and you know, slowly trickled up again. For me to be comfortable in a trade here, I'd want to see a clear breakthrough of this level, come back down, respect it, and then target, you know, this sort of level up here, which would be these previous highs, right? It might take a few days for this to kind of play out, because this is still on the daily chart. I wouldn't even drop to the forward chart to look for any opportunities, because that is the move I'd be looking for. I'll highlight this, but I'll keep it as red. So it might take a few days for that to play out, if it plays out. GBPNZD, yeah, downtrend for me, but nothing really 100% clear. This is a pretty decent level, but price has kind of been I like to see a clear breakthrough. So this candle here that broke through, I like that candle. That's the kind of move I like to see, right? So I'll just draw this zone up. Right, so we had this clear breakthrough that happened, but you see even here there was this massive consolidation happening, came back up, beating around. You know, I'm gonna stay away from this one, but I would say I'm interested in shorts on this pair if something clear was to happen. So what might that look like for me? It'd probably be a clear push through lower. So from here you want to see I kind of push through like that and then move further, right? So yes, we might see a sell-off from this zone here because this was well respected in the past, but I don't like this kind of price action that I'm seeing here, right? This was very clear, this was very clear, clear movements, but this to me is just a mess, so I'll stay away from that. GBPUSD, clear uptrend, you know, prices moving up, had a massive spike and then it kind of trickled up, broke past these levels, came back, kind of tested it, didn't really respect it very much, but kind of tested it and moved up. Nothing clear for me on this pair either, you know. So what we could probably look for here might actually be, because price has been in such an extended move up, we could probably see some form of a correction, right? Because you had this, again, ignore my trend line, but you had this clear move up. So yes, price might continue to kind of make upward movement, but you know, we might see, because it's been in this kind of extended uptrend, we might actually see a correction, something like this, and then move lower. But you know, that's just being I don't know, being a bit wild. Nothing really clear for me here, so you know, no trades on this pair. I'll just move on. EURAUD. Okay. I like the look of this. Okay, so I like this. All right, so we have a nice clear downtrend happening here. All right, so making lower highs, lower lows. But then we had this level here that was recently broken with this candle, right? I mean, the level extends all the way back in the past, but let's just use this recent sort of price action here, right? Okay, so let's drop to the 4 hour time frame. Nice, so you can see it a little bit clear here now, right? So we had price moving down, lower highs, lower lows, had this kind of tightening here with the trend line and the zone, but then price finally found some momentum to break through. So what I'll be looking for here is a move up into this level and then a move further down, right? So if that was to happen, what I'd be looking for is an entry in and around this level, stops just above, right? Initial targets will be at, I wouldn't go all the way to the major lows, right? So initial targets will be around there, which would be, yeah, call that, so call that TP1, yeah. And then actually, you know what, no, because of where, so let's see, so that'll be almost a 1 to 2 risk to reward. So what I'll do is, if this trade is to set up, I will probably set up my trade to take half my profits here at 1 to 1 ish, so TP1, and then final targets will be these lows. All right, so TP, cool. Yeah, so this is a trade I'll be looking for. So I'll keep an eye on this, mark this in yellow. Yellow. Cool. So yeah, if this setup's like so for me, if price pushed up into this level, right? So we see price make this move up. If price was to push past the level, so let's say, so we have that kind of low there, but then the most recent low before it broke through was this low here, right? So I'll draw it a bit like that. Okay, so if we were to see price push up into this level here and then close beyond it, so if price was to close bullishly beyond this zone, and I entered, so if I entered around here but price continued to move up and price closed bullishly above this zone, then I'll consider the trade invalid, right? So I would mark something like here, right? Change that to invalid. Sweet. Okay, so if we do get an entry on this, price push up and we see some rejection and we decide to enter to go short. However, if price continues to move up and closes beyond this level here, I'll consider the trade invalid and cut my losses short, right? So hopefully if that happens, we wouldn't take a full loss. We'll take probably like 0.5%, just over 0.5% loss on it. But we'll see if it sets up. So keep moving on. EURCAD sideways, nothing going on. EURCHF, maybe we could see a push up, but again, you're kind of in the sideways movement. Let me just have a look on the lower time frame. Okay, cool. So we had this uptrend forming here. Could probably neaten that up a little bit. Cool. So yeah, that kind of initial low. That was your second touch. Yeah, second touch here, third touch here, but you didn't really see the bounce off of it, right? Instead, what you saw was a breakthrough of the trend line. So you could kind of mark this as your level here. If price kind of continues to move lower, comes back up, test this, because you had these lower highs. So you had that high, your low, lower high, lower low. So if we see a push lower, comes back up into here, that could be a potential short to these previous lows. Yeah, that could be a potential setup, but we want to see some additional confirmation first. I'll keep an eye on it just in case. EURGBP, yeah, more sideways movement. We had this kind of breakthrough of this previous low here, so price pushed past it. Let's drop to the forward time frame to see what's happening. Yeah, okay. So yeah, you did have a push past it, but it wasn't really a clear momentum move through the level. So yeah, I don't know, maybe we might see some shorts on this, but nothing clear for me. Clear moves for me would be a break of these lows here, come back up, test it. So if you see a clear move through, come back up, test, and a further drops out, maybe something like that might be cool. Maybe something to keep an eye on, but right now it's just, you had this strong momentum move up, slow move down, move up, strongish move up, slow move down. So I don't know, it might push back up, who knows. Nothing. Okay, so I don't really trade flags, but you can kind of see a kind of flag pattern forming here, but into this high level, right? So we have this sort of smallish, I don't know what you call it, flag, pennant, whatever, I don't know. I just call all of them flags. But yeah, so we kind of have this happening here after this strong move up here. Alright, well, alright, let me not rush it through. Let me do it properly. Yeah, so you kind of had this upward move like that, right? And then price is kind of in this wedge here. So you could see price fake through this level and then drop below. We'll retest here and then push lower. Right, so you kind of have this corrective movement happening into this level. You could see on this daily candle here, you had this kind of strong push down, right? So, you know, maybe we might see the breakthrough immediately here and then push back up and drop, or you might see it further consolidate back into the level, you know, because this would have taken out some people's stops here. But, you know, I don't know, we might see a little wedge happening here back into the level and then drop. But, you know, I wouldn't be doing anything anyway until I see a clear breakthrough, come back up, retest the level, and then push lower. If I miss the move, if it plays out and that happens, miss the move, I don't care. Doesn't matter. But yeah, we want to see some kind of clear movement like that. EURNZD. Yeah, we have this downtrend happening here. So what we'll be looking for on this one would be a clear breakthrough of this level here. So a clear push down, come back up, test it, and then drop. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, something like that. If we see that set up, then I'll be looking for a short position there. EURUSD extended move up, kind of, I don't know, kind of in no man's land here. So you have to go all the way back to February 18 for when last, well, actually April 18 for when last price was kind of at this level. Yeah, this looks okay for longs, but I wouldn't be taking any long positions up here. I'd probably want to see price make a corrective movement back into this high that it broke. It broke it recently, early December, but the high was formed August last year. So what I'll be looking for on this pair would be a push back into this level with rejection, and then a further push up, right? So if we see something like that set up, then that might be cool. I'll be looking for that. And let's see, I might get some confluence here. Look how cute. Look how cute. Boom. Right, so you had your second touch there. So if price kind of push back into this level, that would be a third touch. Would we get a fib there as well? Let's check. So from this low to this high, yeah, so that'd be a 50% pullback right there. So that'd be a nice setup on the daily if that happened. Yeah, I'd be looking for, it might take a few days to set up, but yeah, so but I'll keep an eye on that. That'll be a nice setup. So stops below the level, targeting the previous high as final targets. So yeah, I'll be keeping an eye on this. I mean, the stop loss placement is just, yeah, I'm just putting the putting this on the chart to kind of remind myself of what I'm kind of looking at. Stop loss will be fine-tuned if I find an entry, right? CAD yen uptrend, higher highs, higher lows, but you can also say it's in just like a consolidation sideways, because we haven't seen a clear breakthrough. Right, so you have these levels here. So, you know, price pushed down, came back up, formed some resistance, came back down, pushed through, made it support, went up, came back, support, up, support. So it's kind of in a sideways movement, right? But you know, it recently, you know, even though it's in the sideways movement, you kind of have this uptrend, right? So yeah, price moving up. So what we'll be looking for on this pair, if price continues to move up, right, we want to see a clear breakthrough of this level, come back up, come back down, sorry, test, and then, you know, possibly push to complete these highs up here. If we see something like that set up on the daily, then, you know, that'll be a nice move. If we drop to the 4, we could kind of probably see what's happening here. Yeah, so you have, you know, uptrend. Yeah, so I mean, yes, price is kind of moving into the level a little bit correctively, but you know, we have some impulse movements. So even on the lower time frame, like this 4-hour time frame, you know, we have this sort of level here that currently being retested after a strong momentum candle through. You know, yeah, we might actually see price beat here for a little bit and then push higher into this level. You know, that could be a potential trade setup, but that wouldn't be something I'm looking at right now because this move isn't 100% clear to me. But you know, it might be something you could see happening, right? You could probably have a setup something like this, stops below. I'd go below these lows just in case we have a kind of spike down. So stop just below these lows here. Target the previous highs, something like that. That'd be a 1 to 1.8, 1 to 1.8 risk to reward. That might be a decent quick trade. But it's not something I'm interested in taking. So I'll just move on. CADCHF sideways, and all these pairs just moving sideways. Alright, so we have, let's see, connect these lows, boom. Alright, so you have uptrend happening on the daily. What we could probably look for with a nice momentum move would be a breakthrough of this level here. Seemed like the most significant last one, but technically you really want to see a break past at these levels here, right? So if you see a break past this level, come back test, then you know you could probably look for targets around this area, probably even targets around this area. Might see some resistance around this low here, like so. Let's identify this zone here as well. I get too crazy with my accuracy of my zones and stuff. I just try to keep it as basic and as simple as possible, right? So yeah, if we see a push back into this trend line here, that might be a decent trade because you have this minor level below here. Let's drop to the 4-hour time frame and have a look. So alright, so you have this minor level of support here. Alright, where price has kind of been respecting it, pushed up, broke through, came back through, respected it, broke through, came up, pushed people. It's a little bit messy actually. A little bit messy. Alright, so ignore that. I mean, it is a level, but I don't like the level for any setups, right? So let's see if I can neaten this up a little bit. No, actually, that's good enough for me. All right, so yeah, no trade setups here for me, but we might see price complete a move up because it's, you know, currently moving to the upside on the bigger picture. Yes, it's moving sideways. I don't know, it's not really clear. So let's just ignore this pair for now. But yes, you could probably see price push back down to this level and then move up to that zone, right? But yeah, nothing clear. This was probably a decent setup in the past. Again, I didn't really trade for December, so I wasn't looking at charts there. But if I was around, you know, this level here was pretty decent. So you saw price push through with momentum, continued up, came down, corrected, retested it, and is currently making some moves up. So that would have been a pretty decent trade to target these previous highs here. But you know, no clear setups there for me, so I'll just ignore this pair for now. USDCHF. Alright, so you know, clear downtrend on the daily, so we have price moving lower. We had this recent break of these levels here, right? So we had price came down, respected this level, so formed this low, respected it, pushed up, came back, respected the low, pushed up, then broke through. Didn't come quite back. That was probably up to the, let's see on the fib. Fib retracement, so from here to here. No, it wasn't even a 32. So we still do a pretty decent retracement on this. So if I see price come into my level here, which would be a 50% fib, I'd be looking for a short position, right? So I'll keep an eye on this. So if this sets up on the daily, that would be pretty good. Let's look at the 4 hour. Let's have a look. So could connect these highs here. Yeah. Looking kind of nice, man. Looking kind of nice. All right, so yeah, all right, let's neaten this up a little bit. So we had, okay, so we had price form this high, made a low, lower high, lower low, lower high, pushed all the way through, broke the level. So I want to see a nice push up from where price is now, push up kind of correctively into this level with some rejection. That'll be a nice confluence of the trend line together with, let's see, we could probably use this high here as the last major high to the low. That'd be a nice 50%, almost 618 fib retracement. Then we're looking for a short position kind of around here. Stops above the zone, just above the 618. I mean, if price really closes beyond this, then I'm not going to be interested in the trade, right? But let's just say that that was the setup, targeting previous lows. That'd be a nice almost 3-to-1 risk to reward. Yeah, so I'll keep an eye on this. That would go in my, we might actually see that set up this week, so I'll keep that yellow. Cool. Actually, before I move on, let's go back to daily. Alright, cool. I could get rid of this trend line because that means nothing. Alright, sweet. So yeah, keep an eye on that. USDCAD, oh man, that would be a nice trade. Why am I on the weekly? Alright, cool. But yeah, that would have been a nice trade on the daily as well. So we had this level formed here. Alright, price respected in the past, then came back up, wicked into the level, and then dropped, right? Then you have obviously clear downtrend. So connect your lows like so, and connect your highs like that. Right. That would have been a nice trade if I was trading in December. I don't know why I wasn't trading. Anyway, so yeah, that would have been a nice setup, man. Alright, cool. Well, anyway, so what we'll be looking at from here now is probably a break of these lows here. Alright, so we want to see a, on the daily, we want to see a push past this level, come back up, test that'll be a third touch of your trend line, and then a push lower, right? If we look at the past, so we could kind of see, well, all right, so we have this level here. That's your most recent area of interest, right? And then beyond that, you have this level here, which would be your next area of interest, like so. And then these are ultimate lows, right? But I'm not going to be interested in these lows until I see these lows being broken, right? So if we were to extend this all the way back here too, you get, no, not really. I guess so. It kind of had this support in the past, but it wasn't really that major, right? So, yeah. No. Alright, just ignore that for now. But anyway, so on the 4 hour, let's have a look. Yeah, so what I'll be looking for is, like I said, right, we want to see a clear push through. It might actually come to this level here, which is what we identified from the past. Push back up, may respect the trend line and around this area. If that happens, then we'll be looking for a short position, right? So something like this, stops above, I'll put stops above there, targeting those lows from the past, but then, you know, final targets could kind of be down here, right? But we'll just draw up the initial targets for now. Yeah, so let's jump back to the daily. So yeah, that'll be a nice setup if we see price break through lower and then come back up. So yeah, I'll keep an eye on this. That'll be a nice setup. Might set up this week. USDJPY, we have clear downtrend, you know, price moving lower. Let's just jump out to the daily. But yeah, you have this kind of corrective move down, right? So let's see, so you have downtrend, right? In the past, you have this major low, right? So let's have a look at what price did, right? So whatever reason, this is probably around the COVID pandemic sell-off. So the massive sell-off beginning of the year, massive recovery, disrespecting all levels in between, right? But then since then, price has kind of started to move lower, right? So what might actually be happening is that you might see price get back to these lows here, because it's just moving back in this kind of corrective movement after these massive impulses, right? So man, look at this. This has been USDJPY selling for ages. There's constant downtrend. Sweet. Yeah, you know, we might be able to see some setups lower. I'll be interested in some short positions. So let's have a look. So we have this supporting level here on the daily. Price is kind of in around this level here as well. So let's jump to the lower time frame and see what's going on. All right, so we have that bottom being formed. Let's see if we could get some confluence happening there. All right, so, and this isn't really massive to me, so let's see. So that'll be the last two highs, right? So boom, boom. Sorry, one high, second high, broke through, disrespected it, tested it as support. So meh, but you know, it didn't really have an impulsive move to the upside, right? So let's keep looking. Let's see what we can find here. Nothing there. And then, but you know, you could kind of even say, let's say, I don't know. I mean, nobody knows, right? But let's just see if we can pull something out of this to see what might be taking place with price. All right. You know what? I'll keep this in place just so that we know what's going on there. And then we'll remove some trend lines as and when, right? All right. So we had price push down from this high, right? So we had this push down from the high, came back up, formed that high, right? So we connect those two highs. Kind of respected it, but then it broke through. So I'm just connecting this high here. Then we pushed back through. Yes, it rejected it, kind of wicked through, but then it pushed back up, right? So it formed that high there. So I just want to connect those two. Then we had this impulse down, corrective movement up, cool. But then we had this impulse down. So you see, that's the kind of price action I like to see on a downtrend, right? So you like to see strong moves down, slow moves up, strong moves down, slow moves up, right? Strong moves down. This was kind of impulsive up, so you know, it doesn't really matter, but it didn't really get that far, right? And then it continued to move lower. So what I'd like to see happen is, or what we could see happen, right, is price might, so from this level, price might respect here, might even go past it, respect here, push down to this level, push back up, push down, push back up, and then push down, right? So you could see something like that, nobody knows, but you know, if we see some kind of price action like this, I'd be interested in, I wouldn't take any sell positions around this area because that isn't too clear for me. What is clear for me is this level here, right? Either one of these levels. So this level here or these levels here. This is more important to me because it's most recent. So if I see a clear breakthrough, come back up, test, then I'll be looking for a short position back to the final lows that the previous lows, sorry, that we identified in the past, right? And that kind of ties in with short bias on all the US pairs we looked at so far. All right, so USDCHF short, USDCAD short, USDJPY short. So yeah, if we kind of see this setup, then you know this is probably something I'll be interested in. Might take some time to play out, but I'll keep an eye on it. AUDCAD, and you know I'll leave those drawings as well just so I can remember what I was talking about. All right, so AUDCAD. All right, so price moving higher. Kind of clear for me. So if we see a retest back into this level, like a clear retest back into this level, then that'd be something I'd be looking for. All right, something like that. So yeah, I could keep an eye on that, see if that happens, if that's set up. GBCHF, same kind of deal, but price is just kind of trickling up. You know, no real clear impulsive movements. So actually, you know what? Let me have a look before I go back. Yeah. You see, price broke through. It wasn't really that impulsive, but it did come back to test the level. So I believe, yeah, analysis is still the same. I want to see our price come back into this level, and you know, I'll move up. It's not the clearest. It's probably clearest on the daily. Forward kind of messy. But yeah, if we see a nice move back down into this level, yeah, cool. Anyway, sorry. All right, GBPCHF. No, nothing really here for me. I don't really like how price is moving here. To be honest, I don't really like how price moving on AUDCAD either. I don't know. Yeah, anyway, they're both very similar, right? They look similar sort of setup. So if one of them sets up, then maybe I'll be interested in one of them. But I'll just keep an eye on one for now. AUDJPY, again, very similar to the AUDCHF, you know, almost identical, so ignore that for now. Interestingly enough though, AUDNZD is moving lower, downtrend, but you know we might be seeing a reversal here actually, so let's see. Yes, maybe. All right, cool. So all right, so you had this downtrend happening here, connected my two highs as I do. Price push back up, was respecting it for a little while, but then you had this impulsive candle come up, right? Now we have this level here, we have this level here. So this is kind of a zone here. So a big zone, but you know, a zone nonetheless. Let's call it that, right? So, all right, let's have a look at the daily. Because of this impulsive break on this trend line here on the daily, I feel we might be seeing a push higher. I feel because we're looking at buys on the other odd pairs, right? So might see a bullish odd this week or upcoming, or this week or weeks to come. Yeah. All right. So yeah, what I'll be looking for here is a clear breakthrough, come back down. Oh, it's always gets me. All right, so we'll be looking for a clear breakthrough at that level, come back down, test it, and then a confirm move higher, right? So something like that. Yeah, so I'll keep an eye on this, see what sets up. You know, and then we had this kind of minor level here, right? This minor trend. So we got a break of this trend line, and then we kind of seeing a break of this daily trend line here. However, the confirmation for me would be if we see a break of the level, come back down, test it with rejection, then I'll be looking to go long, right? That'd be what I'll be waiting on. So that might take a little while to play out, so I'll just mark this as red. AUDUSD, yeah, moving higher. So, but you know, we had this break of this level here, right? And we never really saw it come back to that level. So yes, we kind of had this push up here, and then it came back, but what we really want to see is a nice push back into the level, and then, you know, a move higher. Keep an eye on it, but I'll just leave this in for now. I probably wouldn't add it to my watch list, because for me that might take quite a few days to play out, even if it plays out, because you know, we might just see price continue to move higher, or you know, you might even see price just crash lower. So, but for now, there's nothing clear for me here, so I'll just be waiting to see what happens. NZDCAD, uptrend, but you know, no major levels clearly broken. This major level was broken in the past here, right? So we had a nice clear breakthrough, came back down, tested it, pushed higher, right? So we want to, if I'm looking for a trade, it'll be something similar. So I want to see price probably continue to go higher, come back down, test it, and then, you know, look for further long positions. But where price is now, we kind of have this bullish engulfing candle happening. So, you know, we might actually be rejecting these levels here to actually push back down. So, you know, who knows, you know, you might actually see price just actually come and reverse from here, right, and just move lower. You don't know what could happen. So nothing clear for me here, so I'll just leave it alone for now. NZDCHF, yeah, price moving higher, higher highs, higher lows. We have this, you could almost call that a double top happening, but you know, other trade reversals. So we'll be waiting for confirmation of price either push through higher, come back down, test it, and then, you know, could target these highs over here, maybe even final targets at these highs, but there's no price action confirming any of that right now. So, you know, we might see price continue higher, come back down, push through, and go up, or you know, we might just see price crack down, come back up, test that level, and, you know, move lower. Who knows? We don't know, right? So nothing clear for me here, but my bias is long positions, because, you know, we have this, you know, higher highs, higher lows being formed, right? NZDJPY, same thing, higher highs, higher lows being formed on the daily. We had this kind of level broken here, So maybe on the lower time frames that might be a potential setup, but again, it's not really 100% clear because it wasn't really that big impulsive move that we like to see. So you know, we might see price come back down to the level, beat around a bit, and then move higher, or might move lower. You know, who knows? It's not really impulsive and clear enough for me. You could kind of probably see a steep uptrend happening here. I don't really like it, but you could connect these lows here, a bit like this, right? So you know, it might be something like that. You know, come back down, test this level, confluence with the zone and trend line. Might even be a fib happening here as well. Let's see, 38.2. Yeah, you might see that, but I prefer 50% 618 retracements. So if we see something like this happen, maybe, but again, not 100% clear for me, so probably just leave it alone. NZD, USD, which is the last pair. That looked kind of cool on the forward. Alright, so uptrend happening. Steep uptrend, right? So you have this steep immediate uptrend, or most recent uptrend, you could say, right? I ain't really counting anything in the past, but let's see if we could connect some lows here. No, not really, don't like that. Could connect these lows here, something like that. Anyway, trend line is just additional confluences, but I don't really base trading decisions on the trend line. Cool, but anyway, so we have this level here, right? So we had that kind of high there that was broken impulsively with a daily candle. Have this rejection wick to the top, right? So it and 100% clear, but let's drop to the lower time frame and have a look. See again, bearish, this bearish engulfing candle. I don't really like the look of that. What we would have liked to see for a trade position here would be a strong move up, kind of trickle back down like this into the level, and then you know I'll move to the upside, right? So not 100% clear on this setup here because of this kind of bearish engulfing candle. But you know, I don't know, we'll see what happens at this level, but for now not 100% clear on this pair for me. Cool, so I think that's it for all the pairs for this week that I'll be looking at. You know, I think we identified, what was it, EURAUD as a possible decent setup. I like the look of this. There's another pair as well. What was it? I ought to write these things down, man. Right, USDCHF, I think it was, right? So that might be a potential setup there. As well as USDCAD, but as we say, you know, this might be a ways off because you want to see that clear breakthrough, come back up to the level, and then move short. Cool, yeah. So that's it for the week. I guess if you stick through the analysis video to this point, then you know, well done for you. virtual handshake. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you like what you see, feel free to subscribe, comment below. Yeah, just let me know what you think. Yeah, have a good week trading. I'll catch you all next week for the recap and outlook for the next week.